All right, Gravel Throat Reviews here, and today I want to talk about a brand new album that just dropped. That album is Braiding the Stories by Gahl's Wyrd, out on Season of the Mist. Gahl's Wyrd is a very interesting and unique black metal band based in Bergen, Norway. The project is centered around vocalist Gaahl, who was at one time the vocalist for Gorgoroth, but since leaving that band, he's released music with Godseed, Trelldom, Gallskag, and Wardruna. The first track on this album is called The Dream, and it's just a quick intro that gets you ready for the journey ahead. The second song is the title track, Braiding the Stories. This is a multi-phase track that stretches out to 8.5 minutes in length. This is kind of like Gahl's November Rain, complete with a windswept guitar solo and an epic crescendo that vanishes and rebuilds over and over. The guitar sound is scratchy, lo-fi, and rhythmic. I love the incredible chord progression in the beginning that rises and falls in a unique and slightly dissonant way without compromising melody. Gahl's vocals are layered and reverbed and sound like the spooky resurrection of Peter Steele. There are some additional vocal inflections and intensities that create dynamic nuance. I like the symphonic elements that cast the track into a shimmering haze of foggy atmospheres. The pacing of this song is well thought out and definitely justifies the length. The third track is called Voices in My Head, and this is just a weird little interlude with some Wicked Witch of the West synth swells that start off sounding like birds, but then end up sounding like banshees invading your personal space. Then the track pauses for a split second before the fourth song, Time and Timeless Timeline, explodes into the mix with these modern sounding guitar stacks and some lightning fast blast beats that carry Gahl's guttural chant vocals. The drumming on this track is insane. I love the choir vocals that lift up the song in the bridge section just before some nasty slow chugs barge into the foreground. This song absolutely smashes. It's only 3 minutes long, so it's very replayable and has a bit more accessibility to the average metal fan than some of the earlier compositions. The closing riff on this track is absolutely demolishing as well. Moving on to the fifth track, which is called And the Now. This song begins with a little set of clean guitar strums that almost sound like the intro to a 90s alternative rock song. But the way the rhythmic guitar persists, it feels a little more sinister after a few repetitions. Gahl's airy whispered vocals are delicate at first, then they grow in intensity as the song progresses. There is a lot of tension built up across the different sections of this track before this intense whirlwind of racing atmospheres envelops the remaining moments of the song. This part sounds like a tornado of apparitions being released from the Earth's mantle. Excellent songwriting on this part. The sixth song on the album is called Through the Veil, and it starts off with a nasty second wave black metal tremolo riff that is accompanied by this 80s sounding reverb guitar lick that is dissonant and electric. Again, this is a shorter track that serves as an interlude or a palate cleanser between the longer and more nuanced songs. There are some really interesting vocal stacks that echo outwards while the track fades out and transitions into the seventh song, which is called Visions and Time. Visions and Time is another multi-phase track with catchy lo-fi riffs that are drawn out and evolving. Gahl's vocals are incredibly dynamic and range from a whisper to a melodic part to an epic sounding deep voice that lumbers along as the drums pound away. The bridge is epic and feels apocalyptic and enchanting. And again, the tension builds up and crescendos with some uplifting choir vocals and some clever riffs. The eighth song is Root the Will, and this song comes right in with a chugging thrash-inspired riff with some well-placed hammer-ons. Once again, the drumming is fast as hell and punchy with a nostalgic grit. There are some insane vocals at the end that sound like Tom Waits having an aneurysm in a cyclone. And again, I have to point out that Gahl's vocals are absolutely amazing. He never repeats a single vocal inflection on this album, which is incredible. Each one is completely unique, compelling, and distinct. I'm always amazed when artists can do this. They just make up a completely new vocal style for each song. This shows an incredible level of talent and creativity. The closing track on this album, Braiding the Stories, is called Flowing Starlight. And again, we have another epic multi-phase track with weird vocals and hollow tinning sounding guitar tones that make you scratch your head before all falling into context with the pair of uplifting and crushing peaks and valleys. melodies. There's a distinct feeling of conclusion to the riffs on this track. There are some really strange industrial breaks on this song as well that separate the layers of chanted vocals and melodic vocal passages and heavy riffs. Near the end of this song, the guitars melt in crescendo with this sporadic blast beat that rips through the mix. While I'm not crazy about some of the guitar tones in this track, I still think it's an amazing cut. In conclusion, I love this album. It's unique, clever, compelling, and enchanting. There is a huge range of production quality from track to track, which is a bit strange, but I think this might actually be intentional. I would like to point out that Gaahl doesn't use any of his older, harsh black metal vocal styles at all in this record, which is surprising, but also goes to show that he has much more up his sleeve. All in all, I like this album quite a bit. I will definitely be on my list. All in all, I like this album quite a bit, and it will definitely be on my list of favorites near the end of the year. Massive shout out to Gaahl and Gaahl's Wyrd. I would love to give this album an 8.4 out of 10. This is an amazing album. You should check it out. Thanks for checking out this review. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. This is Growlthroat Reviews. Peace.